Hello, everyone. My name is Antoine Washington. I have chosen The Rain by Robert Creeley on page 246 of the book. Who was Robert Creeley? Robert Creeley was born in Arlington, Massachusetts, alive from 1926 to 2005. He went to multiple institutions like Harvard University, Black Mountain College, as well as University of New Mexico, which he also had an opportunity to teach at. He was awarded many achievements like the Frost Medal, the Bollinger Prize, and the Shelley Memorial Award. If you go on page 246, in his biography, you will see many awards, achievements, and titles in his name. That goes to show you how well of a poet he was for his time. Robert's work was more about personal life and human relations more than anything else. His work zoomed into the minuscule parts of life, the parts of life that we deem as small, insignificant on paper, but in reality, it shapes our view, our perspective of the world. While also having Black Mountain College and the Poetry Renaissance shape his work. So well, his time at Black Mountain College took place in 1954. That was post World War II, and so post World War II it had a very strict and very certain way to do certain things. But his post World War II poetry shows it counter to regular standards. He was a key figure in bringing about a new focus in Black Mountain. When talking about Robert's contributions and the impacts of today, this is not just Black Mountain College, but poetry in America. Robert's approach to poetry post-World War II went against the grain. It was less formal, more minimalistic, and self-expressive. Using fewer words than normal and more precise wordage to focus more on the emotions extracted and the language of the poem. He will go on to create many of his most popular poems for which he is known for. Some like For Love and Love Comes Quietly. For Love is a roller coaster ride of emotions that takes us through his love of his wife, which eventually ends up with him upsetting himself. I will break it down farther, go deeper into it, but I will advise you to read it for yourselves and grasp the heaviness and the weight of it. And come up with your own comprehensions for yourselves. I'm gonna go to The Rain for y'all, read it for y'all. Okay. The Rain by Robert Creeley. All night, the sound had come back again, and again falls this quiet, persistent rain. What am I to myself that must be remembered, insisted upon so often? Is it that never the ease, ever the hardness of the rain falling will have for me? Something other than this, something not so insistent. Am I to be locked in this final uneasiness? Love, if you love me, lie next to me, before me like rain, the getting out of the tiredness, the facetiousness, the semi-lust of intentional indifference, be wet with a decent happiness. As you could tell, that was a very, very deep, conscientious poem. And when I was flipping through the book, reading through multiple poems, I didn't really feel it like how I felt when I read The Rain. It brought up a multitude of feelings like love, longing, and emotional ties. At first read, I knew it was a deep poem, but it took me multiple reads to actually break it down and comprehend the theme and messages of it. The themes that he portrayed had a distinct feel, many which we feel in our lives, like self-worth, and especially in today's age is very, very huge, very common among young people, some older people, whatever. And it's very huge because a lot of people see this world on the internet and they view it as, oh, I gotta live this way, I gotta be this way, I gotta have this, I gotta have that. And many people don't realize that that's the internet. The world is can have many ups and downs, but the internet can show only the good, you know. Self-worth is one of the major themes displayed in this poem. Being worthy is a very hard topic for most, but many are not inclined to speak on it. But Robert touches on it so subtly. In stanza 2, line 1 through 4, what am I to myself that must be remembered, insisted upon so often? It's simple but complex on why we need to have a certain status by being high achieving instead of accepting yourself as is. Robert acknowledges this and takes note on the fact that this and the never-ending uneasiness might never ever go away. In society, we view, life as, oh, my neighbor has a new car. I gotta have a new car too. And then that's just a never-ending pit. You're digging yourself deeper into this. Oh, I gotta have this, I gotta have that, based off, the people that's around you. And those scenarios bring a never-ending cycle of unhappiness, and I gotta be worthy. I gotta portray this certain life instead of just having a happy life for yourself. And despite all that and emotional exhaustion, he has a longing for unconditional love. He ends it in the sixth stanza, lines 3 through 4, with "Be wet with decent happiness." He basically tells us that no matter what, even in the rain, we can find joy for ourselves. We don't have to portray this or that. We don't have to be this or that. Be yourself and you can find joy. Even in the rain, even when you don't feel worthy of yourself or worthy of the people around you, you can have and be something and have happiness. I just want to thank you for your time.